Welcome. I'm glad that you're here with us as we continue our chronological read through of the Bible. The next couple of days, we're going to be looking at a number of oracles against various peoples. But before we get too far with that, I want to make a comment about Babylon and Assyria. Babylon is often used in the New Testament to refer to all peoples that are hostile to God and God's people. In the Old Testament, Babylon is a specific empire. But it's helpful to understand that that Babylonia and Assyria are very closely related empires. They come from the region that's now known as Iraq. The Babylonian Empire was centered on the city of Babylon in the south. The Assyrian Empire was centered on the city of Ashur in the north. Nineveh actually was part of Assyria. And the Babylonian Empire followed the Assyrian Empire as far as its ascendancy and so on. It was the Assyrians who destroyed the northern kingdom. It was the Babylonians who took Judah into exile. So it just gives you a little bit, because as we're reading through, there's going to be some jumping back and forth between those. So it's helpful to have that in mind. Now, chapter 13 of Isaiah is an oracle against Babylon, but it likely refers to all of Assyria, although later we will have a specific oracle associated with Assyria. Um, the oracle is indeed fulfilled, this oracle against Babylon. It's a pretty rough oracle, though. It finds its most complete fulfillment in the last day, when all evil is destroyed by the triumphant Jesus. As we go on to chapter 14 speaks of God's compassion for his remnant. The fortunes of Israel will be reversed, the remnant. The oppressor will be ruled by the oppressed. The demise of Babylon's king reminds us that God is in charge and he's served by those whom he uses to accomplish his purposes, whether they acknowledge it or not. In the end, any who rely on oppression and wickedness to accomplish their goals are going to receive God's judgment. Chapter 14 concludes then with oracles against Assyria, as I mentioned earlier, and also against Philistia. You might remember Philistia from earlier in our readings with the kings and so on. Chapters 15 and 16 then contain an oracle against Moab. This is a rather long oracle. Moab's history with Israel is complicated. Sometimes their history is friendly. Sometimes the past is violent. In the end, though, Moab will be destroyed. Yet even her refugees will seek shelter in the tents of the coming Messiah. It's a reminder that God seeks not our destruction, but our repentance. Chapter 17 then contains an oracle against the great urban center of Damascus. And once again, Damascus will fall, but it too will have a remnant. It too will have a remnant is preserved, because the Lord always, always preserves a remnant for himself. I hope the comments help you a little bit as you read through it. Actually, on our next reading, we'll be going through another 5 chapters, I guess 4 chapters of oracles against other nations in the surrounding area. So this will go on for yet another day. May God be with you, bless you. As always, I pray that your reading is helping you to learn, helping you to grow.